Hello, and welcome to the latest edition of Kirklees Local Television's Weekly Wind-Up, the programme that brings Kirklees community news to you. My name is Kyle Warwick, and on this week's programme I'm joined by Weekly Wind-Up resident Pastor Carlton Napier. Also joining us from Huddersfield Technical College is Angela Dyson. Joining us as well is Harry Ainsworth, a Kirklees resident. Now, the date is fast approaching when the Tour de France will wheel its way through the Kirklees area. Despite the tour being a massive draw for the area, there are misgivings among some residents about the event. Firstly, I will go to you, Pastor Napier. How do you think the tour passing through Kirklees will be beneficial for its residents, or do you even think that it will?
Well, I give a big thumbs up for the Tour de France. Welcome. I think this is going to be another milestone for our local community here in Huddersfield, Kirklees. We should be massively proud of what is going to happen. I do see benefits and advantages of the tour being staged here in our local community. Income generation, lots of goodies going to be extended to our community, and we're told that we're expecting thousands of visitors to parade upon our little community here. I know it's going to do good, and I just believe that we need to take it in our stride to accept what is going to happen. Not only that, but it's also encouraging many people to take up riding, I suppose, again, and get fit and get onto the bike. It's a situation like this outside of France that I think will inspire us as we watch it take place from Huddersfield straight down into Sheffield, and I just hope that it will be maximized to its full potential as we take the parade through our little town.
Angela, how do you think that residents can maximise the effect of the tour for residents in terms of health and jobs and things?
Well, I think people like shop owners and businesses and things like that, they'll obviously make money because they can be open extra hours. Obviously it's over a weekend, so some of the businesses might not actually be open normally. Also advertisement as well for people. And like you said about the fitness thing, it might encourage people to get more fit and healthy, and especially youngsters as well that are constantly playing on their Xboxes and stuff, so it might get them up and moving about.
There's been a lot of talk in the papers about some of the difficulties that the tour coming through will create. I think the number was 177 roads will be closed on one day. Do you think the benefits of the tour coming to Kirklees will outweigh the disruption that it might cause?
Definitely. I mean, it's going to be one day really that they're going to be passing through, and for the amount of revenue that it's going to bring in for the local shop owners, and also just the fact that young people are going to be able to come out and see them. They're going to be inspired, want to see the next Bradley Wiggins and Chris Froome getting on the bike and going out there and getting fit. And I think the benefits of them coming through will massively outweigh just that one day of interruption, really.
Is this something that you agree with? Do you think that the benefits will outweigh the disruption?
Well, hopefully they will, because if they don't, I think there'll be a big uproar from a lot of people. I mean, some people, like obviously buses aren't running, things like that, roads closed. There's probably people that actually still have to go to work on that day. So I think if it doesn't benefit us, then there's going to be a lot of people really complaining. But like you say, it's only for one day, so I don't see it causing that much.
I mean, Pastor Napier, do you feel there's anything that the council can do to minimise disruption for the people in those areas that will feel it?
Well, I think as a local council we should be proud, and I think they're doing just about everything there is to make sure that we accommodate as much as we can and lessen the disruption. And I think the real losers are going to be, and I feel very sorry for them, are those who live on the main route of the tour, because obviously the roads will definitely be closed for 3 days. But the council is good enough to provide alternative parking facilities. So I think, one way or the other, we're going to have some winners and some mourners and some losers. But I say well done to the planning committee, well done to the organizers who have brought this magnificent event to our community, and I think it will leave a legacy, personally speaking.
Absolutely, I think that's a sentiment that we can all share. Hopefully you would like to get involved in this debate. You can always do so online. You can contact the Weekly Wind-Up through our parent station's email address on info@kirkleeslocaltv.com. You can also contact the Weekly Wind-Up through our Twitter page by searching @the Weekly Wind-Up. Hopefully you'll join us after this short break for more discussion. See you then. And welcome back to the show. We go straight into a discussion about the supposedly improving economic situation in the country. Chancellor George Osborne in recent weeks has been trying to push through the idea that the country is seeing an upturn in our economic fortunes. Really what we'd like to know at KLTV is whether our panel feel that Kirklees is in a position to take advantage of that economic upturn should it actually reach the area. Is this something you can see happening? Do you feel like Kirklees has enough of a variety of jobs for young people in the area, Harry?
I think there is a big variety, but it's more about the availability. I don't feel there is enough available jobs within the community. And they talk about an upturn, but in terms of jobs available, these are part-time jobs, not secure jobs that are actually on the rise. So I wouldn't really say that it's much of an upturn.
Angela, there's been a lot of talk about an economic upturn in the main papers. Do you feel like that economic upturn is being seen mainly down south, or do you think it's being seen up north as well?
Well, like Harry's just said, I hope it does bring in more jobs, because like he's just said, that there isn't enough jobs out there. I'm still looking for a job while studying, and basically because I'm a mature student, I've got to be available for so many hours work, but there's nothing to fit around my education, so it's really difficult for me to get a job. There just isn't any, not in Huddersfield. Hopefully all this situation anyway will bring money, and the amount of money that Kirklees has actually spent anyway on things, then I think the public are going to be expecting something back, and especially students as well, because we've had cuts from travel expenses, meals. We don't get what we did last year, but yet the Kirklees can spend all this money on repairing roads for this bike ride, which I think a lot of people feel like I do. Where's the money for us that actually live here? But hopefully it might bring it in. But if not, like I said before, you're just going to get a big uproar from people. I mean, council tax has gone up. Cost they need better roads and things like that. So we're paying for that. But like I say, we don't get enough funding. College doesn't get enough funding. We've got a show to do tonight, and we've got limited money. We've to get our own costumes, things like that, and we don't get all the money for that.
Pastor Napier, you travel around the country, and you're both down south and you're up north. Do you feel like people in Kirklees are going to see any real world improvements in their pocket from this supposed economic upturn?
Well, Kyle, I do hope so. And based on what Angela said, whatever you say in the economy at this moment, it doesn't really mean much to grassroots people who are feeling the pinch day by day. But let us review some of the facts, because yes, the economy is on an upturn based on what the IMF says, and George Osborne, yes, he's got to gloat in this, because according to the prediction in 2014, the UK is to head the G7 growth. That's wonderful news, but as Angela said, what does that mean to the local man in the street who still has to pay higher counter tax, still has to pay more for petrol? It doesn't work out, but we've got to go with the facts. 2.9% growth compared to global growth, which is 3.6, up from 2.4. Yes, the UK is doing good. Are we going to see it transferring up here in Kirklees? I do hope so. But listen, manufacturers see a strong growth. Export sales at a high. The Chambers of Commerce says, don't be fooled. Short-term growth prospects are good, but the recovery is not yet secure. So what do we do in Kirklees? The visitor economy, a powerful potential local growth here, says tourism is our real source. It will make a positive contribution to the economy, employment will go up, and quality of life. So, long live this upturn, so speaking, and I hope we, the residents of Kirklees, can benefit in the long run.
Angela, as a local mother, do you have you seen benefits from the supposed economic upturn, or is it are things still getting more difficult?
No, it's worse. Yeah, it's getting worse because people's wages don't go up. I mean, hopefully they will do, but I mean, obviously childcare costs and things like that is ridiculous. It just goes up and up and up, but your income doesn't. And especially if you're on a benefit and things like that and you're studying, they're wanting young mothers and mothers to go to work and put the kids in childcare, but it's an impossibility for some people. It's so expensive. You know, they just don't put enough into that. If they want mums to go out to work, then you know they need to give us more help.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of what people will see as benefits is jobs coming out of the situation, and as well a livable wage. I think that's something that's quite a big thing. Harry, do you think that the wages for local people is matching the cost of living in the area?
No, I'll say no, sorry.
No, that's fine.
Definitely
if you
not.
want to jump in, Angela, please do.
It's hard for me to say, really. I mean, I don't live on my own, so I don't have these bills to pay. But I mean, it's hard enough anyway for myself to pay. I mean, I'm living at home, and yet still I'm struggling to get around and pay off what little I earn anyway, as it is. So I can't imagine what it'd be like having to look after a child as well.
Well, basically my outgoings is more than my income. So obviously it's pay this bill first. Yeah. This one's going to have to wait, and it's constantly like that. So yeah, I mean, these young ones that are wanting to move out, I feel really sorry for them because, you know, trying to get a house and pay for everything. And I know what I'm struggling now, so I don't know what it'd be like for them. And public transport has just gone up again. And as also another thing, like we're studying, if you're a mature student, you don't get help. You don't get student bus passes, things like that. All the younger students get bus passes, so they don't have to pay. But just because I'm older, I just think that's discrimination against age.
I think it's only going to get worse as well for younger people within Kirklees anyway.
Yeah.
Well, within England really, with the student fees going up now, you're going to find more and more people are not going to want to go to university. And I think with the lack of jobs that are around, it's only going to become more of a struggle.
Absolutely. I think what we can tell from this discussion certainly is that the economic upturn is quite far from reaching the Kirklees area, and certainly from benefiting the people and residents of Kirklees. If this is a sentiment that you'd agree with or disagree with, please get in contact with us. You can do so via email info@kirkleeslocaltv.com. You can also do so by searching on Twitter @TheWeeklyWindup. Please do get in contact with us with any of your opinions on the topics we've talked about so far today. Now we'll go straight into the news that local Kirkheaton resident Betty Woodcock has started to receive international fame for the 4 novels that she has so far penned. I would just like to ask the panel really, do you think this will encourage people in the area to take up creative writing? or creative industries?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I've always fancied doing writing, and if you can sit at home and start writing a book and then what she's done, I think it's brilliant, yeah.
Pastor Napier, is that something you agree with?
Well done to our 84-year-old Betty Woodcock. We ought to be proud of her up in this neck of the wood. She was not afraid to embrace online technology and have written 4 novels. Shifting Shadows, one of them, The Prom, and the essay, and it's taken the world by storm, from China to the USA, Ukraine, with what they're going on with now. Still are finding time to read these novels. What an impact. Well done, Betty. And I hope this will be an inspiration for those who are sitting down at home, think that you can do nothing. Take a leaf out of her book, do some writing, and it's an inspiration to us, the younger generation, too. If Betty can do it, so can we. Well done, Betty.
So to all you students out there, you've been talking about maybe having a little lack of funds. Maybe this is something you can have a go at.
I'd like to see it more advertised more locally as well, really, and show her off a bit locally, definitely. So I think a lot of young people will be, well, as you say, she's 80 odd. I mean, if she can do it, why can they not, really?
We can all be proud of Betty's work, really, and certainly it cannot encourage all of us to be a little bit innovative and try his hands at something new. That's all we've got time for today on the Weekly Wind-Up. Once again, our contact details are our email, info@kirkleeslocaltv.com, and you can find us on Twitter by searching @theweeklywindup. Please do so with any information or any comments that you would like to make on today's show. We will be back next week with myself presenting again. Thank you very much and see you next week.